Anyone that peddles the law of attraction is a 21st century grifter. The law of attraction is the 21st century snake oil. Forget about working hard towards your dreams, because you can bypass all the other people who are actually taking action towards their dreams by sitting at home in bed, meditating, writing in your vision book, cutting out nice little pictures of Ferraris to stick in your little scrapbook, and then as if by magic the universe will conjure those things into existence just for you. Yeah, because that's how the universe works, isn't it? Not. Because it's been so kind to you up until now, hasn't it? The universe is not some thing that gets to decide who wins and who doesn't. And the ones that do win are just the ones that prayed hard enough. And through the power of wishful thinking and toxic positivity and rock hard visualization, you can materialise 5 Ferraris on your driveway. Doesn't happen. Change my mind. The only people that fall for this BS are the gullible fuckwits who've lost all hope in the ability to change things for themselves, which is a shame. But only you can change your life. I know, radical bloody thinking, man. So it's time to put that book The Secret down, okay, and listen to some real bona fide advice from yours truly about how to actually get what you want in life. As you all know, I think this life that we live now is a simulated virtual reality video game. And if it is, there are some cheat codes in this video game that we call life that actually work. And I'm about to tell you one. So sit tight, buckle up and get ready. Because I think there are some hacks to this video game that we call life, or cheat codes, if you will. And the law of attraction is not one of them. That is pure and simple snake oil. The thing about snake oil is it sounds great. Sounds as easy and sweet as cherry pie. In practicality, the law of attraction is about as useful as a chocolate dildo. But your man here, Jack, is about to give you a way better alternative. And it comes from one of my most favourite books, The War of Art, without which I wouldn't have started this YouTube channel, where the author states that procrastination is basically the root of all evil. And in his book he calls procrastination resistance. Resistance is basically a fuck evil monster that resides in your head and tells you that you're not good enough, or literally any other reason to stop you from doing the thing that you're meant to do. Because the author states that he thinks that everyone who's here on this planet right now playing this video game that we call life has an inherent purpose. Everyone has a thing that they are here to do. And resistance is the thing that you have to get over before you can start doing the thing that you're meant to do. Resistance is basically like a narcissistic, overbearing parent that doesn't want you to get hurt. So it will literally tell you anything it can. It will lie to you, even, to stop you from taking action. So for me, for a long time, that was just making videos. Another way that resistance traps us is perfectionism. If you look at the other videos on my channel, you'll see that they're quite well edited, aren't they? I mean, there's sound effects, there's graphics, there's visual effects, there's B-roll, A-roll, music, all sorts of stuff. And it used to take me about 2 weeks to write, film and edit one video. Why? Because I wanted it to be perfect. But now I realised that creating videos in that way was just a form of resistance. Resistance was telling me that I wasn't good enough on my own. That I couldn't do these talking head videos like all these other great YouTubers. No, I had to be different. I had to make things with fancy editing and multiple camera angles and way more effort than all these other people, just so that I stood out. When in fact, there was one slight little problem with that idea. Yes, it was bollocks. That thinking was what was stopping me from just sitting down and creating some bloody videos that people like you found useful. It was simply stopping me from creating by telling me that I wasn't good enough. When I flippin' am good enough, you know it, don't ya? Of course I am, look at me, I'm a goddamn genius. But even I have resistance sometimes. And funnily enough, I ran a little experiment to see what the difference would be between my heavily edited videos and my not very heavily edited videos. So I compared 2 videos. The first one was very heavily edited, took me about 2 weeks to make and edit it. The second one was one that I literally just filmed sitting at my desk and it had no editing. It probably took me about 10 minutes to edit it, whereas the other one took me 2 weeks. Now I looked at the analytics and the metrics and I looked at the average retention rate. That's the average amount of a video that people watch on average for all the views that it's got. Now for the heavily edited video, it was actually about 46%. For the video that wasn't edited very much, the retention rate was 42%. So for 2 weeks of editing, it got me an extra 4% retention rate. That, simply put, is not good enough. And that is what made me realise that people aren't that interested in fancy editing and stuff like that. Really, they just want to hear your ideas. And it was resistance that was telling me that I had to keep creating these fancy edited videos. The next thing I had to get over was the I need all the cool equipment idea. Everyone goes through this thing at some point. I need the best camera, I need the best lights, I need the best microphone, blah, 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 blah. But it's all bollocks. You don't. You can literally just record 4K video from your mobile phone, or at least HD. Point and shoot, and just go. Start creating. I'm even looking into using a mobile phone myself, just for the bloody sheer convenience. You know, it stops me having to faff about and think, oh, I can't be bothered making a video because I've got to get the camera out, put the lens on, set all the settings up before pressing record. So getting a phone would just reduce the faff and friction it takes to actually make a video. And so the best thing you can do is find ways of reducing resistance by reducing the friction that it takes to get to the thing that you need to do. Let's say, for instance, you want to go for a run every morning. Now, obviously, when you get up in the morning, it's not really the first thing you want to do. But if you leave, say, your running clothes on the chair as you get up. So as you get up in the morning, you put those running shoes and trousers and shirt on. You're already ready to go for a run. So the friction has been reduced, you see. And when this channel starts actually coughing up some flipping cash, I'll reinvest some of that into getting some fancy editing done. But at the moment, it's simply not worth it. Quote, resistance is the most toxic force on the planet. It's the root of more unhappiness than poverty, disease, and erectile dysfunction. To yield to resistance deforms our spirit, it stunts us and makes us less than we are and were born to be. I think this is right. I think this is why people fall into destructive patterns of behaviour. You know, drug taking, alcohol, sex addiction, whatever else other traps people fall into, even workaholism. It's literally a form of doing anything except your work. And by work, I mean the thing that you're here on the planet to do. Because everyone's got one thing. Just because you don't know what it is just means you haven't found it yet. Now, your work could be your actual work, like your job, or it could be the thing that you actually want to be known for. So for me personally, that's to be a comedian on TV and write and star in sitcoms. I'm creating, to give you an example, I'm creating videos on this channel in the hope that the income from it will eventually replace my job. And I've got a second channel where I create sketches and comedic content in the hope that those sketches become good enough to translate to TV. Now, people who get sucked into law of attraction, I think, are just suffering with an acute case of resistance. They've tried to get what they want, and it's not worked out, and they get all bummed out. That's because they were raised a pussy. They're pussies, yeah? They don't want to put the bloody work in to get what they want. And so they want to sit at home, meditate, and pray, hoping that someone will just come and give them what they want. But that won't even be very satisfying, will it? It's like winning the lottery. I wouldn't be proud about winning the lottery. I would be proud about putting in a shit ton of work and getting what I want. Then I'd be proud. And so these people, they look for shortcuts. Hence the law of attraction. I was guilty of this in my past, which is why I'm telling you about it now. So my advice is to forget the bloody law of attraction and just do the work. Stop trying to get yourself in the right vibration and just sit down at a dedicated time of the day and do something every day towards your goal. Stop visualising your future and cutting out pictures of things you want and just sit down and do the bloody work. It's actually very simple. As Nike says, just do it.